So what are your first impressions on what Hawaii can present?
I'd faced Coach Graham when he was at Arizona State. They're an extremely aggressive attacking defense. They will blitz you from all over the place. That's always been kind of his calling card. He's a defensive coach. There's a new coordinator on the offensive side of the ball because G.J. Kenny, the old coordinator, left and went to Central Florida with Coach Malzahn. But I anticipate they'll be the same. He's very similar to what he was doing when he was at Arizona State. So we've got a year on him to watch all the games that they played last year, but we expect some wrinkles just because there are going to be some new coaches on that staff. So they're a spread offense, but they play with a tight end a little bit, and they're going to try to run the ball on you. And then defensively, they're blitzing you from all over, so you got to be prepared for everything when you're playing a top ground coach team.
They got Chevy Cordero, who's obviously their QB1, but also has the most rushing yards last season. What have you seen from him? How are you going to try to stop his attack?
Speaks to his athleticism. He's a really athletic quarterback that can beat you both with his arm and with his feet. You got to be really conscious of your rush lanes when you're rushing a kid like that. You just can't pin your airbacks and run up the field, because if you create some lanes inside, he's going to take advantage of them. So I think we really have to be disciplined, especially on the defensive front, when facing a quarterback like that.
Do you see any similarity between him and other quarterbacks that you guys have faced in the last year or so?
I think almost everybody now is. Most people are dual threat guys. Jayden Daniels at Arizona State is really a tough one that we always have to match up with and play against. What they do at Oregon is the same thing. They're going to run the quarterback, but they always have had kids that can throw the ball also. So I think it's kind of the norm. There's probably more guys like that in college football than there aren't anymore. So.
Is there one position that gets stressed the most when you're facing a running quarterback like that? Defensive line, linebackers?
Not one, because it's going to take 11. So it's really got to take coordination of, where are your rush lanes? If the quarterback gets flushed, who are we flushing him to? What are our fits and how are we fitting on him? So that they force you to cover the entire field. When you have to defend all 11 guys, because sometimes if the quarterback's not a run threat, then you're really defending 10 guys because he's just going to stand back there and you don't really worry about that. But when you're facing a quarterback like this, they're playing 11 on 11 football, not 11 on 10 football. So it's going to be everybody. So if we have some type of movement where a lineman's moving inside, then we have to know who's got contained if the lineman's moving inside, and then make sure we're disciplined in that. And don't let your eyes fool you. You got to get to where you got to be.
What are your thoughts on Cam Johnson? How's his development? Do you think he'll get into the rotation?
Yeah, Cam's in the rotation. Cam's done a great job in his transition here from North Texas. He's everything we thought he was in the recruiting process. He's fit in really seamlessly. It's one of those things where sometimes you get a guy and he sticks out, but he sticks out for the wrong reasons. He sticks out because he doesn't understand the call. He sticks out because he's not sure what to do and he's tentative. He's really sharp, so he picked things up very quickly. For most of those guys that have an extensive playing experience, it's just a matter of mastering our terminology. He may have called it this at North Texas, but we call it this here. So he had all the tools in his tool bag. Whether it's man coverage, what type of leverage are we playing? Are we playing inside? Are we playing outside? What are our zone reads and all those other things? They may have had a different term for him, but he's done a really good job of picking up everything we've done, and he should play. He will play a lot for us.
Is Shamar Martin still with the team?
Shamar Martin's with the team.
Is he available?
He's available.
Do you know about the eligibility for Jay and Devin for week 1?
Jay and Devin will be available.
Big picture question. Sorry, I know you don't like the big picture questions, but
I love big picture questions. The issue is you guys don't like my big picture answers. So the issue's with you guys, not me. I don't have no issue with a big picture question.
Fair enough. Next week, the Pac-12 is expected to announce an alliance with the Big Ten and the ACC, which is going to impact out-of-conference scheduling games. There will be a lot more out-of-conference games against those two conferences. Is that a positive for recruiting when you can talk about being able to go play a Miami or a Clemson or an Ohio State?
No, because we play them already. We're playing LSU in 2 weeks, so we're playing SEC teams, and we've played Big 12 teams in Oklahoma since I've been here. I know we have right now, and I don't know if it changes what we do. We have contracts with Auburn, we have contracts with Georgia, so we're always going to play Power 5 teams. So I don't think, whether it's a team from the ACC or the SEC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, I don't think that really affects you from a recruiting standpoint. They're all positives, and everybody gets excited about playing all of those conferences. So that wouldn't affect. It may affect some schools that have always just scheduled Group of 5 teams and FCS teams, that their schedule will ramp up, but it won't ramp up ours. You know, we've had, and we're out to sometime in 30. They have games. You know, that's how far some of these schedules are out. Now I don't know if that will affect maybe some of the SEC teams. I don't know that, and anything to do with that stuff, whether it was the guys leaving the Big 12 and going to the SEC, is coaches aren't consulted on that. So,
Right.
you know, we find out when you guys find out. So, I don't even know what is it. Are we all joining the same conference, or what does that mean?
No, it's more of an agreement, kind of like almost like a voting block, if you will, to kind of counteract what the SEC did with its growth, so that the SEC doesn't become the overpowering entity of all of college sports. So you guys will have an alliance where you'll schedule, do more out-of-conference games with each other, and almost form kind of like a cohesive block of agreements.
Do we have to move?
No.
I'm good then.
Okay.
I'm in agreement with anything.
Okay.
As long as we can stay here, we're good.
Do you have team captains picked out yet?
We don't have team captains. We have squad leaders that our players pick in the off-season, and we've had those since we started the second term here last January. So there's 20 of them, and we meet with them every week, and those guys are the leadership council of our team. So.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
We're good, guys?
Yep.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.